15 weeks out. And Steve, what's a really good point as we start on the second week of the 16-week training program for an Ironman?
It's to be sticking to your zones properly at this point. If you're getting 2 to 3 weeks in and you've got the wrong zones, then this aerobic training will really ruin you because it's probably not properly aerobic. So in week 1, there is a link. Make sure you've got your zones perfect so you know that this aerobic base building period is genuinely aerobic. It needs to be pretty easy. It's long. So at the end of each session, it would be a grind. And that's the point. Mediocre training tends to be what pays off the most. So you need to set yourself up properly or we're wasting our time with zone 3 rides constantly.
It's a great point, Stephen. We've actually got within that first week of your training program, there is a link there to try and determine your training zones. So you can make sure you've got them reasonably well defined and how to put them into Training Peaks so it matches up with the program we've designed. The one thing I'd say is the biggest thing about doing zone 2 training, and that is where the majority of the training will be done, is if you can't hold a conversation comfortably, you're starting to move into zone 3. So it's probably the easiest rule of thumb is if you can chat to someone, you're most likely in zone 2. As the conversation gets quite difficult, you've progressed into zone 3. So that's a good guide if you're not sure whether you've set your zones correctly. But hopefully with our guide, the link in the first week, you can set them up correctly. Another
good guide is nose breathing. If you can nose breathe, this is a good one for most people. But if you've got a really thin nose like me, then it's pretty tough. I have to go with the talking one. I can't breathe through this nose.
You should get that. You should probably get that sorted. Actually, the operation.
Yeah.
You thought about that?
Yeah, I've thought about lots of operations.
While they're there, they should just do a full nose job.
Yeah.